Philosophy of the modern age, the golden age of philosophy. Modern philosophy symbolizes a period of dramatic rupture and transformation in the history of philosophy. This process, which started from the Renaissance and continued until the Age of Enlightenment, brought about radical changes in the world of thought. Let's embark on this striking philosophical journey together and discover the important intellectual heritage of the period. Modern age philosophy begins with the Renaissance, the age of reawakening and discovery in Europe. Following the scholastic thought system of the Middle Ages, a new curiosity arose in the individual, nature, and the universe. Access to information increased, and with the invention of the printing press, classical works spread rapidly. This general atmosphere prepared the ground for the emergence of new philosophical movements. Intellectual activities, which intensified from the Renaissance onwards, reached their peak in the Age of Enlightenment. During this period, reason, science, and individuality came to the fore. Traditional authorities and dogmas were challenged. In this context, the Enlightenment is considered an age in which dark taboos were destroyed by the light of reason. The basic ideas of modern age philosophy are shaped by rational and empirical approaches. Rationalism and empiricism are the most prominent philosophical movements of the period. Philosophers who sought ways to reach knowledge through reason developed new understandings of man, society, and the universe in this process. René Descartes, known as the father of rationalism, focused on the individual's cognitive experience with his words, "I think, therefore I am." Descartes, as the thinker who laid the foundations of modern philosophy, emphasized rationality and questioned human existence and consciousness. John Locke is known as one of the important representatives of empiricism. According to Locke, knowledge is gained through experience. The human mind is like a blank slate from birth, and knowledge is formed by engraving experiences on this slate. This view forms the philosophical basis of the inductive scientific method. Thomas Hobbes is another important thinker known for his social contract theory. He argued that, in their natural state, people live in a state of war of all against all, and that a strong central authority is needed to maintain social order. Immanuel Kant tried to resolve the conflict between rationalism and empiricism. Kant argued that human consciousness plays an active role and shapes experience, and that knowledge can be achieved by combining reason and experience. His work became one of the pillars of modern philosophy. With the philosophy of the modern era, a more critical and questioning way of thinking was adopted, moving away from traditional dogmas. The philosophers of the period led individuals and societies to an intellectual revolution by encouraging people to think from new perspectives. Modern philosophy, which is a clear difference from the more dogmatic and theologically oriented thoughts of the Middle Ages, is more oriented towards the individual's own mind and science. This change has prioritized a human-centered understanding and curiosity. The philosophy of the period played an important role in the development of scientific thought and methodology. With rational approaches, new perspectives and methods were brought to the scientific world, and experimental studies were encouraged. This philosophical transformation has also made its impact felt in art and politics. Artists and politicians have adopted more innovative and pioneering approaches in their works and practices thanks to the new concepts offered by philosophy. Modern age philosophy has brought with it many important philosophical debates in its time. The question of which is more important, reason or experience, has been frequently brought up in philosophical meetings. These debates have enabled philosophy to reach a wider audience and have attracted the attention of the public. Intellectuals who deal with philosophy have played important roles in society. They have become leaders of social and political change through their efforts to inform, guide, and raise public awareness. The legacy of modern philosophy continues to have an impact today. The roots of many philosophical concepts discussed today are hidden in the steps taken in thought during this period. Especially in man's search for meaning, philosophical discussions are still alive. The basic terms within the scope of modern age philosophy are important both for understanding the period and for grasping the relationships between philosophical concepts. Concepts such as rationalism, empiricism, social contract are the cornerstones of this period. During this period, the place of religion in social and individual life was questioned again. Philosophical views evaluated religious beliefs and practices with a critical eye, and a new search for balance between reason and faith emerged. Modern philosophy has also addressed moral and ethical issues. Philosophers have put forward various theories about the moral nature of man and have examined the effects of ethical decisions on individual and social life. Philosophy's focus on the subjective experience of the individual has transformed understandings of identity and self. The individual has begun to discover his or her identity by embarking on a deep journey within his or her own consciousness. These philosophical ideas have also played a major role in the formation of political theories. Social contract theories have had a profound impact on forms of government and individual state relations, laying the foundations of modern democracies. Modern age philosophy has enabled the restructuring of education systems. Education models that prioritize reason and critical thinking have been developed, and the groundwork has been laid for children to be more questioning. The new concepts and ideas that emerged are perhaps one of the most striking features of this period. Philosophers questioned and expanded the ways in which people could access knowledge. The philosophical movements that emerged during this period not only influenced scientific thought, but also supported the birth of modern sciences. The ideas that led to scientific revolutions indicate the golden age of philosophy. The influence of philosophy on economic thought is also undeniable. Efforts to create a better social structure have been the basis of economic theories and have influenced the development of systems such as capitalism. Developments in the field of art and aesthetics have been enriched by these philosophical influences. Philosophical perspectives have enabled artists to develop original and profound expressions by using innovative methods in their works. During this period, the contrast between rationalism and empiricism was frequently discussed. Advocates of both movements gained a place in the world of thought with strong arguments. Some of the ideas produced by modern philosophy have been subjected to various criticisms during and after its time. Criticisms have contributed to the further strengthening of intellectual systems. Modern philosophy has had a great impact not only on philosophy itself, but also on other disciplines. Fields such as psychology and sociology have been nourished by these philosophical views. The effects of modern philosophy on today's thought are still discussed and studied. This period is considered a source of inspiration for contemporary thinkers and scientists. Philosophical writing and thinking styles have diversified considerably in the modern age. Each philosopher has developed his own style and expressed his thoughts in different ways. Technological advances have also affected philosophical thought. The relationship between philosophy and technology has been examined, and studies have been conducted on how thought systems have evolved with technological changes. The public perception of philosophy also changed during this period. Philosophy became a field that was discussed and followed by wider audiences. One of the most striking features of the period is the contributions of female philosophers to philosophy. Female thinkers made significant contributions to the enrichment of modern philosophy with their views and works. Modern age philosophy has also had an impact on cultures and societies outside Europe. Thinkers from different geographies have enriched their views by interacting with these philosophical movements. Some questions raised in modern philosophy still remain unanswered. It is part of the fascinating nature of philosophy that these questions remain unsolved. To summarize the main ideas of modern philosophy, the ongoing debates between rationalism and empiricism, approaches focusing on the consciousness of the individual, and social contract theories come to the fore. There are very few special people who are interested in philosophy today. If you are one of them and this content is good for you, do not forget to subscribe to Philosophy Universe.